Alright, well that took a while. And yeah, I'm gonna have this nice little intro play. This actually looks pretty cool, but what was that? We are playing the Japanese version. Because why not? I'm gonna move the horizontal view a little bit so it's probably bigger, easier to see. Nice little intro here, or demo. We're gonna skip that. So this came out in 2000, and I've said this before, but the NeoGeo Pocket, or Color, I would say is pretty cool. I wish I would have had one, but it seems to be like a step above a Game Boy Color, but not as powerful as something like a Game Boy Advance. Which makes sense because the GBA came out like, what, a little bit after the 2000s? Or the early 2000s, 2001 maybe? Could have been 2002. I know the GBA went on for quite a while, even up to like the DS's lifetime. But yeah. I don't know what any of this means. I tried translating some of the menu, but none of it made sense, so. Right. Now, this game has unlockable characters. Yeah, we're not translating that. Might have been easy to get a save file or something, but again, I don't know. I'm gonna stick to 3 rounds. I think that's what that means. I mean, this is a fighting game. What else could it be? A and B button change. That's fine. And then, you know, they used to let you listen to the BGM or sound effects. Don't need that though. So this is training. You got 2-player versus because you could link cable the NeoGeo Pocket. Obviously, I'm not doing that. I don't know what that one in the middle there is. So we're gonna go with whatever this is. There you go. 3 unlockable characters. No clue who they are. You got a random. You got Leona. Forgot her name. Wasn't Yuri, was it? I always get her mixed up with the one in Street Fighter. But Mai, obviously. Naoko, obviously. We got Shermie, we got... I don't know who this is, actually. I don't know who these 2 are. These are probably from Samurai Showdown, or Samurai Spirits. You want to be a gaijin or not, but Mai it is. I don't know what QOF meant. That was the name of the arcade mode this is. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know what that means. So I think what's happening is the translation is getting mixed up with the words at the top, maybe? Or either the screen is too small? Like too many pixels or something? But anyway. Really nice sprite work, actually. This looks like it could be a really cool Game Boy Color version. And I know... Oh my god. Do they have their actual moves? Hold on. Yep. Yep, it's the actual moves. So this oh my god. I gotta mash the button. Okay, that's pretty cool. You got a hit counter at the bottom. You have a special bar. At the bottom, too, you have the life bar and everything. Little sprite. This is actually a really well-made game. You know, they got the actual controls in. Like this spin. Well, it should be an elbow, but here it's more of a dive tackle. Which is fine. You got the fire there. I don't think she's gonna have her falling kick. Oh yeah, she does. There you go. Always different in different King of Fighters games to do that. Okay, that didn't work. So I could do that one. I'm gonna try kick. Double quarter circle. Next time. Oh my god. No, nothing on that one. Nothing. Well, at least that move is still like a whole half circle, which I appreciate. Oh wow, that's a new one. Now there's no voice. There's no sound effects besides like the basic hit. I think it's because they put everything, or maybe it's just not a powerful handheld, but I think they put everything into visuals, which is really nice. We got some earrings. Yeah, I think it's too pixelated, the screen. It's like too small, maybe, to detect a nice, translation. Nice. Yeah, Yuri. I always get her name mixed up with the one in Street Fighter, because they kind of have the same outfit, slightly. Oh wow, a slide kick. And that one kick chop, or whatever. I think that's a move in Dead or Alive, maybe? Ow. Where you do a slide kick and then an upper chop with the other leg. There was another slide kick I wanted to do. Okay. I goofed around for a second. I thought we were playing actual King of Fighters. So I was hitting a button that doesn't exist. I gotta remember this only has 2 buttons. So there's no, like, high kick, high punch, or stuff like that. There's only punch and kick. But again, it's impressive how they got all the moves and everything, and Yuri's not moving. There's a pause. Okay. I'm not gonna sit here. Nice, 14 hits. So I know this might be pretty boring to watch, but it's actually pretty fun. If this had, my bad, link cable capabilities are online, that'd be pretty great. I don't think there's anyone in the world that would have said, hey, let's play our NeoGeo Pocket together. I don't think it's sold well, besides in Japan, obviously, like a lot of things. And even then, I don't think it would have sold well. Kind of like a lot of NEC consoles. Not compared to something like Nintendo consoles, and even Sega at the time. I know a lot of people... Athena, there you go. She has her own games on arcade as well. I know a lot of people in Japan loved Sega, which I don't think was a big thing in the US or outside. There was some extra move I did with that kick. I don't remember now. And I wonder if there's a difficulty slider, because I think we're doing pretty good. We're doing much better than usual. Oh wow. That was probably a Psycho Bomb. I'm really used to hearing that shit. And are we past 10 minutes? Yeah, I can curse now. I'm used to hearing Psycho Bomb every fucking time in King of Fighters. Especially in 14 that I played quite a bit. It was pretty good times playing that. Just too bad about SNK as a whole after being bought by, an Arabian prince for whatever fucking reason. Not as many hits. What the hell? Okay, that was quarter circle back and then forward. That's not very fun to do, but it's doable. And there was another one. Let's try to get as much as we can. You can recharge that just by doing special moves, which is interesting. Okay. Yeah, there was one where you basically, I guess, burn yourself. I know it's a move Mai has where she just immolates her area around her, and it's really tricky because you have to have the enemy be right next to you, which, again, is really hard. But I'm not doing it, so... Oh, wow, I did something there. I was hitting both buttons at the same time in a double quarter circle. Back. This is why I love playing fighting games by myself sometimes. Just figure out some of the moves. I'm not worried about combos or anything. Long strings where I don't let you play or anything like that. And these stages look really nice, really crisp. Okay, if you press both buttons, that's just a normal dodge. This looks like it could be a light Metal Slug stage. Reversal. I do want to see that again. No, not that. If I can get to it. Oh, when did I waste my special stuff? What was that? I gotta try that with somebody next to me. Yeah, the move I'm talking about though is it needs on a gamepad. It needs one of the bumpers, maybe, or maybe it's just two buttons at the same time. Again, it's tricky here just because there's only two buttons. Okay. Yeah, the AI loves playing around for some reason. Does that like remove the whole special bar? It seems like it. Wow. Yeah, Akari, I don't know where. I'm just gonna guess Samurai Spirits. And then there's like the unlockable characters too, which it could be so many. This is 2000. You know, we were playing KOF 99, or you know, just 2000 at this point. Shiki. Oh, nice, a beach area. You know, if DOA wasn't out, I would have said this is some sort of precursor, but it's not. If anything, this stage is... You know, this could easily just be DOA Extreme Beach. Wow. Okay, that was a forward. Yeah, it just deletes your special bar. For everyone. Ow. Yeah, I don't think this stream is going to be too long, though. If we're being honest. I mean, it's a very simple game. And there's no other game like it besides SNK Heroines, which I don't have. So, well, I don't have it on PC, so it's gonna be harder to stream that. Could make some sort of video out of it, but, you know, why would you want to watch that? Me playing a solo fighting game, honestly. Damn. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm doing it by, like, instinct now. Oh, she fell asleep. We can just get to the end with my, maybe unlock a character and see what that's like. If that's even how you would do it. Alright, one of my other favorite characters from Samurai Spirits, who I think also has her own game on the Dreamcast, which is a visual novel of sorts. I do like her design and everything too. Oh, it's a Samurai Spirits background, I think. That was one of the characters in the back. But yeah, a lot of these sprites are really nice. They're really pretty to look at. And that's one of the SNK's, or used to be one of SNK's like big draws. One of their strengths back in the day that set them apart from anything else, really. Oh, the AI is really, really careful in this game. Unfortunately for me. So it's a shame they kind of just departed, but they couldn't just do 2D sprites, you know, infinitely. They were already going up to 13, although you could say it's more like... Did KOF have, like... Did they have a game every year? Or did they skip a couple of years? Because I always see, like, from 95 up to 2003, and then I've only seen it jump up to, like, 2011, 2013. What am I talking about? It was, yeah, KOF 2003, and then I've only seen KOF 11 and 13. I'm sure there's a 12, but... Wow, I can't move. Trying to do something with the kick, but it wasn't coming out, so I was probably doing it wrong. So I'm sure they had games like in between some of that. Oh, look, it's Whip. She's one of the unlockable characters. It's probably one of the ones that was missing. But yeah, hello, hello. Yeah, you can tell SNK really... I mean, they were at the top. So you couldn't just say they didn't care. They cared a lot. But after, you know, they had to be bought out, they probably were in a bad spot, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because SNK games have always been great. And they have more than just fighting games. You know, besides besides King of Fighters and Samurai Spirits. They even have other fighting games that are not in that franchise. Or interconnected universe. We're talking about stuff like Fatal Fury or, you know, Mark of the Wolves or stuff like that. Garo, if you want to call it that. You have all the different arcade games. A lot of shooters. You have the whole MVS system. The AES. SNK arcade cabinets, exclusives, stuff like that. Metal Slug, obviously, yeah. Yeah, it was sometimes in the 2010s they got bought out by a Saudi prince. And even though I liked King of Fighters 14, I think they have been downhill ever since the buyout. Although personally for me, I just... Oh my god, Whip. 30 hits. Yeah, I think they've been downhill as far as all aspects go, really. Got 9mm casings. Okay, that's a very cool background. Can't read any of that though. And yeah, translating is going to be a pain, so I'm not going to do that. Sure, there's a story here somewhere, but it's kind of hard to... And I could just play the English version, but I think it's better than playing in the Japanese one. Usually, Japanese versions are always going to be better. And I think that's King and Vice in the back. I don't recognize the other ones. There's so many King of Fighters characters, there's a lot of them I don't even know, personally. Like, I didn't know Angel was a thing until I played Miss X. Until I played 14. And then I started wanting to play her and other things. But she's like Blue Mary. She's very, very complex. No special moves or anything, just more grappling. And that's not much of my style, because I can't get those big combos going to actually grapple. Now, if we're talking about Tina and DOA, that's a different thing. I do catch myself hitting buttons that don't exist. And I'm pretty sure that's Hiyori because of that move, but you know, anyway. Ah, shit. But yeah, if you look at something like, what is it, City of the Wolves, that new game they're putting out, that's already failing. They put some extra characters. I think it was a famous TJ or something from who the fuck knows where, and I think it was Ronaldo. That was all because of the big owner of SNK, who either owns SNK or just owns like the majority shares, unfortunately. And that's one of the Saudi princes. And you know, they're only in the game because they're acquainted with him. But yeah, everything from like marketing and all that is kind of atrocious. And to me, I don't like those graphics that they use. I wish they would have just gone back to sprites. It's kind of my same stance with Pokemon for the most part. I wish they kind of just stick with sprites and make them better. The evolution from Gen 3, or well, the general evolution of sprites in Pokemon up to Gen 5 was impeccable. Oh wow, there was Kyo in the background. What was that? So yeah, if you couldn't tell, Mai is my main that I always play, and that's interesting of a move. Okay, this AI is insane. It just stands there. So if it's just gonna stand there, then I'm just gonna zone the hell out of it. And that is definitely Yori, or something similar, because those are Yori's moves, so. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, that's Yori. That background sprite is literally just Yori. But yeah, if I had to pick a fighting game character in any fighting game, you know, as much as I love DOA, I think Mai is gonna have to come out on top in any ranking I ever do. But the thing about City of the Wolves is the 3D graphics, they kind of remind me of like Street Fighter 4, and they got this cell shading kind of comic style, I guess. And I think that looks really bad, personally. I don't like that at all. You know, putting aside the fact that I did stream the game beta, and I went online for the first time and I got stuck with a dude that did a whole combo and I just lost instantly because I couldn't move or play. So I just stopped the stream and uninstalled at that point. Now, is it my fault for knowing how to play? Maybe. But if you're gonna have a fighting game, at least have some systems, you know, have practice modes, have tutorials. Have something people can do so it's not just a competitive online, you know? Not everyone is playing games just to be competitive, and that's what's killing a lot of games recently. In the past, like 5-10 years. Okay, Mai was dreaming. There's Andy at the bottom. So yeah, I could have played the English version. Maybe there was no difference, but I was gonna say, I didn't get the credits. The Japanese version is always the one you should go for. There's usually always something that the English or American version would take out. And we're talking about games like pre-PlayStation 2 probably. A lot of American versions always get, I wouldn't say bad translations, but I guess censored or changed slightly. And I want to have the original experience, but I do have the English version just in case I ever want to go through that. But yeah, I still have every single title from SNK before the buyout, so I'm not mad. I like how that's in English. But there's Leona. So I'm not really, you know, missing out or anything like that. That's in English too. Even in the 80s and 90s, the Japanese really loved putting in just English titles and letters and words and everything. Even though it does not make sense. And I know it's 2000s, but, you know, same thing. Did we unlock anything? Is this like a gallery? Can we translate that? Special move power up. Oh god. I just ate, so I feel like shit, but... Okay, so these are items you can get in the story mode, and they kind of increase or give you buffs and debuffs, maybe? Let's see. Did we unlock a character? No. Probably have to do something special, like beat up with everyone. Maybe? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sure. Practice. We didn't fight Leona. She looks, again, really nice sprite work. That's why I said it sucks that they just had to get rid of it. For subsequent releases. I've seen some recent, like, Metal Slug stuff, too. And I think they went free-to-play type mobile game, which, again, sucks. Or maybe that's just Chinese ads using Metal Slug's likeness. You get those a lot, but, again, SNK is not in a good spot. And I'm not a big, like, competitive guy, but I'm pretty sure King of Fighters has always been a more underground type of thing, you know? Obviously pretty big in South America everywhere. Because it's easy to get. You know? It's easy to get into, too. I mean, like I keep saying, I would say 90% of fighting games pre-2005 15 maybe, up until down to like the 80s. They all play the same. They've all got half circles, quarter circles, and as long as you can remember those, you know, you'll have your special stuff. And then the combos themselves, you know, you can just look those up in-game or on arcade cabinets, stuff like that. But yeah, that was SNK Gals Fighters for the NeoGeo Pocket Color. Not much I can give you about this game. Like I said, it's very simple. There's no voice, there's no nothing. I could go for a whole different route, but, you know. I also wished I could have showed off SNK Heroines, which I think was a good game for what it was. Maybe not on the paid side, because you did have to pay for certain characters and stuff like that, but you could do a whole lot of cool stuff like dressing up some characters and getting screenshots or just the overall feel of the game. It was just very simple, fun to play. But so is this. Amazing little sprite graphics, some pretty good music. Sound effects leave a lot to be desired, but really great sprite work. What do they call it? Do they call it sprite art or something like that? This is what it actually is, not that, you know, indie shit they try to do nowadays. This is real sprite art right here. Nice. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with that. And as always, I guess, till next time, goodbye.